Hey guys, welcome to another video of mine. It's Command AA, and this is another Chelsea Transfer Daily news video where I discuss three main stories. The first main story does regard Geuye and Draxler, the duo from Paris Saint-Germain, and of course going to be getting into reports and publications of what they're reporting and giving my thoughts and opinions. Going to be speaking about Isco and of course Ruben Loftus-Cheek's return and what the key thing is that we're missing in this team and why we're struggling so much at home against low to mid blocks tactics and systems. And also finally going to be covering Callum Hudson-Odoi and why he's been so poor lately and the abuse he's been receiving on social media. Going to be getting into all those Chelsea transfer news daily videos. And before I do get into it, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you want to on here. Make sure you hit the bell notification for every time I do upload, and comment down below your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below on each story that I do talk about. And of course, before I do get into it as well, if you are seeing a red mark, it's blood, it's just a scab. Basically, I was shaving and it just gushed out. Honestly, it looks terrible. Like, can't wait to get rid of it. But yeah, enough of me waffling, let me get straight into it. Now, of course, the first story does regard the duo from Paris Saint-Germain, Geuye and Draxler. Now, the Express are reporting Chelsea are monitoring their situation and are willing to swoop in the January transfer window to sign both of them. Now, before I do get my thoughts and opinions, of course, as you dig deeper into the article, and it wasn't the only article, of course, Le Ten Sport, another French publication, they also reported the same report that Chelsea are heavily interested in Geuye. And the report suggesting that Chelsea would like to get both of them on a decent price, and they believe they would be able to give nice depth, squad depth, help push for Champions League qualification, and also they, bolster the squad in those areas. And that's about it. At the moment, it's just about monitoring, scouting the players. But it got me thinking, giving my thoughts and opinions is, especially Geuye, it makes no logical sense. Now, I keep mentioning this in my videos, and I say that when it comes to signing players, when it comes to our scouting system, I urge the club when they about to sign players that we only sign players that are top caliber, that are at the top of their game, are in peak form, and simply have either world-class potential or are top players that will immediately improve the starting 11, that can walk straight into starting 11. We made this mistake in the past of signing squad players that will fill the depth in. However, it blocks some parts of the youth and it doesn't improve our 11, and we end up later down the line trying to get rid of them because they end up being dead wood. And this is the issue we had in 2017, and it set the club back to 3-4 years because of the mediocre signings. It was heading Chelsea into a dark direction. Of course, now we've fixed that. Of course, new scouting changes, new board changes, introduction of Petr Cech, etc., and that Roman's getting more involved. And it looks like the club have finally learned their lesson, especially with the transfer ban, and we're moving more into the positive direction. However, these reports coming out, it doesn't make any logical sense. Number one, Geuye. Why would we sign Geuye when we have a similar type of player stylistically in N'Golo Kante? I'm not saying they're similar player. N'Golo Kante is by far the superior player compared to Geuye. Kante is a world-class, a box-to-box midfielder compared to Geuye. If you're signing Geuye, I'm assuming you're signing him to be backup or squad depth to N'Golo Kante. But again, wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't be spending at least 30 to 35 million pounds for what, to be backup to N'Golo Kante? It wouldn't make sense. He just moved to PSG last summer, so I doubt he's going to be leaving 6 months down the line. That's another thing you have to question. Number two, will he leave PSG when he's getting guaranteed 13 football to come sit on the bench at Chelsea? Again, it wouldn't make logical sense. Our midfield is stacked. We have a world-class midfield. Jorginho, Kovacic, Kante, Mason Mount. We've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek to return as well. It doesn't make any logical sense to be signing a player like Geuye, spending that kind of money. You then look at the second player that we're interested, the duo, Julian Draxler. Again, another player that, in my opinion, has never fulfilled his potential, or player that's on the decline. Where would you sign him? As an attacking midfielder, number 10, or as a winger? Again, we have Pulisic, we have Hudson-Odoi, we have Willian, we have Pedro, so of course Pedro will be leaving in January. So we are in the market for wingers, so of course it would be natural for us to look at wingers, but is Julian Draxler near the top of the list, of my list, or certainly the list that we should be aiming for? We're supposed to be an ambitious club, trying to reach the top, the pinnacle, and become the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid. We want to compete, be ambitious, and return to elite days. But if you're signing PSG's deadwoods, are you really going to be moving in that correct direction? We're trying to reach PSG's level, but if you're going to be signing Deadwood, you're not exactly moving in the correct direction. PSG want to offload him because he's not getting sufficient game time and he's simply not good enough for PSG, especially with the options they have. But Chelsea should be aiming higher. Of course, we're linked with Sancho, Chukwueze, Leon Bailey, players that are far, far superior to Julian Draxler. If you asked me 3-4 years ago, I love Julian Draxler. I think he's a top player. He was at the time. He's now 26 years of age. He's now in his prime, and he hasn't, like I said, fulfilled his potential. Of course, he's been a very big disappointment. And if you look at statistics so far this season, 6 games, no goals and 2 assists, very, very poor. Last season, he achieved 31 games, only 3 goals and 7 assists in 31 appearances, especially League One, which is nowhere near as competitive as the Premier League. You could have seen some before, 30 games in League One, 4 goals and 5 assists. He's been very, very underwhelming, disappointing, and definitely way, way down the pecking order. And again, I don't want us to be signed dead. I want us to be signing top world-class players such as your Sanchos, your Chukwuezes, your Leon Baileys, etc, etc. But that's just my thoughts, opinions. You guys might have different opinions. If you want Julian Draxler, leave me your thoughts, opinions in the comments section below. Comment down below why you want Draxler, or do you agree with me in that sense? But getting to the second part of the story, that is of course Isco, and of course I made a couple of videos in the past week regarding Isco. Of course, a couple of Spanish publications reporting him to Chelsea, and of course that we have been offered him for the price of £44 million. Now, what I did hear was that Isco wants to wait until the summer transfer window to make his move, and of course the reason he wants to do this is because then he'll get more club offers, he'll get more opportunities, more variety of choices to move to. Of course, he has a good relationship with Fiorentino Perez, who's a Real Madrid club president. He's got a good relationship with the teammates. He's entering his prime. He's a top player, and I've already given my thoughts on Isco. I think he's a top player, but it was quite clear against Southampton, and I of course couldn't make a review because I was busy. It's quite clear against Southampton that it's not just Southampton, but it's smaller teams, your Bournemouths, your West Hams, your Southamptons. When they come to the bridge and they sit in a low to a mid-block system, we struggle to break these type of teams down. And the reason for it is because, number one, we're not creating enough chances, we're not creating enough clear-cut chances, we're not progressing or moving the ball quickly enough, and the number 10 positions we have, we're not operating in those half spaces efficiently. Now, if you look at the formation we played a 3-at-the-back system. Now, I was fine with this against Tottenham because, of course, against Tottenham, the way Mourinho set his team up, they're not going to be sitting a deep mid-block team. They're a top 6 team, they're at home, they're going to be playing with space, with fluidity. So you're going to have to utilise those spaces on the flanks. You're not going to have much space in between those lines. It's going to be a very compact shape. You know what a Mourinho team is like. Against Southampton, when they set in the low to mid-block tactic, by playing as a 3-at-the-back with no recognised number 10 to create those chances, you're essentially limiting yourself to create enough chances, limiting Tammy Abraham's service, and I would have been very surprised if we got 3 points against Southampton in that game. I could tell by the formation. That game we should have played at the 4-at-the-back because we had a registered number 10 in the Mason Mount, and we had a creator at number 10 where we could open those spaces, operate in between lines, and given more clear-cut chances for our wingers and of course for Tammy Abraham. You saw when Mason Mount came on second after, we started to get more chances, but it was too little too late at the time, and 3-at-the-back was the wrong formation. But this is why the links to Isco is pivotal now, because with Isco, he can break those teams down. He can break the low to mid block tactics. He's quick. He's very silky and fluid on the ball. The way he operates in those half space, he creates chances for himself. He creates chances for the front three, and that's why Isco would be a fantastic signing and a short-term solution for us to acquire Champions League football. But of course, that is a short-term is in view. Of course, if you sign Isco, what does that happen to Ruben Loftus-Cheek? We know he's coming back in January, and if Ruben was playing in this game, I reckon we would have won, because again, he's a number 8, number 10 that will open those pockets of spaces, operate into lines, create opportunities and chances, and he would be a massive threat to teams that are sitting in low to mid block tactics. He'd be our player to break those lines down. However, if you sign Isco, you're going to limit Ruben Loftus-Cheek's game time. Of course, that also, that is going to happen to Mason Mount as well. So it's going to affect the balance. Would you really necessarily need to spend £50 million on Isco when you can save that money, wait for Ruben to return, and of course sign a top players in the summer? But of course, we need to be able to acquire Champions League football for that to happen. That's the dilemma that we face. That is a dilemma that we face. But leave me thoughts, opinions in the comment section below. Do you think we should sign Isco in January? Or if not, again, leave me your thoughts, opinions in the comments below as to why. But again, the final part of the story, that is, of course, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and of course, the abuse he has received. We know he hasn't been the greatest this season. He hasn't scored his first Premier League goal yet. He hasn't been on the top of his game. And against Southampton, yes, he had some good sparks, but in general, he was pretty poor. But the vile abuse he got afterwards was astonishing. Now, it came out in reports that he's now seeking advice from teammates, seeking advice from advisors, etc. And it's disgraceful. We need to remember the guy is 19 years of age. He's nearly my age. I mean, if you're famous, you're a footballer, you're earning a lot of money, and you go onto your social media, you see all these comments, it's not helpful. He's already showing confidence by posting these comments. It's just going to make the situation worse. Now, of course, it's a free country. We can say what we want. And I don't mind criticism. If you play poorly, then you're going to get criticised. Expect criticism. But when you just get simple verbal abuse, no constructive criticism, then it's not helpful at all. There's no need. A lot of people are angry because of the amount of money he's on, but that's just not his fault, you know. That's the club's fault for offering that type of money. You know, he has that world-class potential. He has that generational talent. You know, it's not his fault, but he needs to find his form. And by sending abuse, it's just not going to help the situation. But that's just my thoughts, opinions on the matter. Leave your thoughts, opinions in the comment section below. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe to my channel if you are on here. Make sure you hit the bell notification for every time I do upload. And I'll see you guys for my next video. Peace.